Well, I wanted to do a video comparing some of the flashlights that I've been carrying lately. Some of you have probably seen the video I did on the Streamlight. I did a review on the ProTac 1L-1AA that had the benefits of the 10 tap, which was a way you can switch the different UIs, and then the dual fuel, which is their clever little nickname for their two different battery sources. It takes the CR123s as well as the AA's. So you guys know that I've had this light, EDC'd it, on and off between these other lights as well. I did end up getting the A-Tactical A1S, which I mentioned when I did the review for the A1 that there's interest, and I got a couple of messages, not a bunch, but a couple people want to see it, so I did get a hold of one of those. And another one you guys never heard me talk about was the Phoenix PD35. This is the Tactical Edition, which is interesting. A lot of these lights have very, interesting similarities, but they're also different. They're all very unique, to each other. The Streamlight and the Phoenix both have changeable UIs. The A-Tactical does not. Obviously, there's a range of different, light outputs because of the source. This one is, of course, Streamlight's not quite as bright. You can see this is a Pro or a Con, and I mean, obviously, the not so bright part is not a Pro. It is certainly a Con, but you're gaining, size with that, where these other two lights are full-size 18650 flashlights. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a smaller package. As far as like EDC, it has been easier to carry. I have used the Sheath on this one, as you guys know from that review, so it's kind of been out of the way. It's nice, it's light, it's simple. I do like the two different battery sources quite a bit, but these are much brighter flashlights, so it's kind of it's always going to be a give and take, and I've always talked about this. You can go super, super bright, but you're going to need to have a lot more power, which means tons of lithiums, and with that becomes a bigger flashlight, So you have to kind of find that balance, something that's going to fit in your pocket if that's what you're looking for. Think about what your purposes are for the light, and you can go from there. But you always have limitations. Some people's flashlights are bigger, and therefore bigger batteries, more light, and so forth. But anyway, just going to go over each light just briefly, talk about my experiences with it, and then just kind of compare them, because I do get quite a few people who are interested in flashlights. These types of videos are really for flashaholics, people who really get into the hobby. The average person, who likes EDC stuff and they find usefulness in carrying a flashlight, they can kind of get any of these modern flashlights and be happy with them. But it's the guys, real specific gearheads, that want to fine tune what gear they carry for their purpose. And that's what these videos are kind of for. It's not for the general person, it's for the gearheads. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's push these off to the side, and we'll start with the Streamlight. First off, the Sheath is the best Sheath of the bunch. The Phoenix Sheath sucks. This is horrible. It's not falling apart yet. It's just super, super cheap. The Velcro is already losing its, I don't know what you call that, Velcrodosity, its stickiness. I don't know. It's already less grabby, let's just say, than it was before, and it's just super cheap. However, the A-Tactical did not come with a holster, or sheath, I should say. So I suppose that sheath is the worst sheath, but this is second worst. This is the best. Like I said, have been carrying it fine. You can see also Velcro. I'm not a huge fan of Velcro without a button snap. I've talked about this in the past. They can get dirty and ineffective, but it does grab a lot better than this, and this is a smaller piece of Velcro, if you could tell. Okay, much smaller run, but it's actually just really grabby. Grippy, grabby. I like it, right? Little compact design. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Most people don't care too much about the sheath. All right, so on to the flashlight itself. Pros, definitely its size. I do like the fact that it's compact. I really think that the two different fuel sources, or battery sources in this case, are definitely worth it. I think that's super, super cool. I like running on the CR123 so you can get higher output. I think this is what, 350 on high? Yes, 350 for the max on the CR123. You do get less light with the AA, but it's nice to know that you have that option. It is super, super cool, right? And 350 lumens is plenty. Even with the AA, the regular alkaline AA, it still gives you plenty of light for simple tasks, trying to find your keys, looking around your car, stuff like that, looking outside within like 15, 20 feet. It's adequate light, it's not gonna blow you away, it's nothing amazing, but it'll get the job done. So I do love this option quite a bit. The next one, the Phoenix PD35. This is the, like I said, the Tactical Edition. This is pretty interesting. I'll talk a little bit more about this one just because I I haven't done a review on this yet. I don't know if I will, but basically, obviously on and off, right? Momentary on, and then click for full on. As you saw there, because I went fast, this does have a tactical mode. That's basically the default when you get the flashlight. So very, very similar. In fact, I think it's identical to this one in that you have your high, strobe, and then low, right? If you cycle fast. Same thing, high, strobe, low. And you can tell the low, it kind of ramps down from high, which is weird, but starts off high and then kind of fades to low. But yeah, it has the same user interface as the Streamlight. But it's changeable. What makes this the tactical version? That's the tactical setup. They feel like that's a tactical thing. Always high, but the second mode is their strobe, and hey, if you don't need those things, then you can cycle down to low, I don't know, map reading or whatever tactical things you need to do. But what makes this one pretty interesting and unique is that you do have your side button, which is dual purpose. When it's on, right, it's in the tactical mode. You can change the UI just like the Streamlight. You hold the button down, right, so it flashes and does its thing, right, then you let go. Now you're in the outdoor mode, right, so you use the side button to change your modes. And now you have a bunch of different ramping modes, like eco and low, medium, high, all these different modes you can ramp up and down through. All right, I think maybe it's a long hold for strobe there. But this is supposed to be your outdoor user interface. Okay, in a tactical situation, you don't need all these different modes, right? But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then obviously just hold that down until it goes off again, and then you're back into your tactical. Okay, which is your high, high, strobe, and then low. So yeah, it's interesting. This has 2 user interfaces as opposed to the 3. Obviously there's way more light. The output on this Phoenix, I believe, is 1,000 lumens. Actually, look on the back here, you can see all the different modes in the outdoor. You can see how this is checked off, right? The outdoor modes are all of them. So you get the eco 8 lumens, and the low 60, mid or medium 200, highs 500, and the turbo's 1,000. There's all your runtimes, of course. But just the tactical mode, you just have the turbo, low, and strobe. So it's interesting, right? Quick mention on the Phoenix is that it does come with 2 CR123s. Obviously, I prefer an 18650. I'm using these just because they came with it, but I don't like multiple cell CR123s. That's where you could, not saying you will, but that's where you could get into some issues. You'd never want to, interchange brands. In other words, you don't want to have like one Surefire, one Phoenix brand. You don't want to use a brand new battery with a used battery because they exchange energy, and it does it very quickly because these lithiums are very high energy battery cells, and you can have problems with that. It overheats, it can catch fire, it can explode, pop, all kinds of stuff like that. Emit pretty nasty gas. It's pretty poisonous, not good for your health, so it becomes kind of a dangerous situation. Not to say it happens all the time. It is rare. There's plenty of people, military personnel and police force, that are using multiple CR123 flashlights every single day, and they never have a problem. My suggestion is, if you can, steer clear of them, but if you're going to use them, make sure you follow those simple safety things. Always use 2 brand new batteries at the same time, and stick with the same brand when you're using them together. And you should be okay. But anyway, so yeah, that's the Phoenix PD35, pretty interesting. The A-Tactical, this one does not have, different UIs. Basically, you just turn it on, right? And obviously, just like the other ones, you have momentary, which is a half press, and then push it all the way in for your fully on position, right? And then you can use your side button here to change your modes. And there's, let's see here, low, medium, high, and turbo. Right, I forget the exact run times on here. I know the turbo is good for 3 hours, and the high output is 1150 lumens. All right, so this happens to be the brightest flashlight in the bunch here. Now, something else to note here real quick is that although the Phoenix is 1,000 lumens and the A-Tactical is 1,050 lumens, they do have slightly different colorations in the LEDs. I noticed that the A-Tactical is, although it's a cool LED, it's kind of a, I don't know, it's not as bluish. Let me turn them on next to each other, see if you can see the difference. Phoenix on the left, and A-Tactical on the right. You're not going to be able to tell with the brown table here. Put them on the wall. You can barely tell on the wall either. it just has a slightly less bluish coloration. All right, kind of holding these all together now real quick just to show you the differences. You can see how that Streamlight, of course, way less light than the other two options here. But yeah, just pretty interesting. Definitely something I should probably do with a white background here. But yeah, I mean, I like all three lights. I don't have any problems with any of them. They all work. I haven't had any shortages. I mean, all three of these got dropped. I mean, when I carry a flashlight, I always do a drop test a couple times. I don't always film that kind of stuff. And no, I'm not always kicking my flashlight down the street like I do in some of the abuse testing or the hardcore testing videos. But every flashlight that I carry on me, I want to be, you know, reliable. So I literally take it from waist height and drop it on the head. And then with just one drop, I don't do it a bunch of times. If it stays on with one drop, I'm good to go. Then I know I can at least rely on that flashlight. So in conclusion, I like all three lights. I really do. I like all three lights for EDC options. Obviously, if you want to fine tune your needs, you're going to pick one light over another. Start with the Streamlight. One thing I didn't mention before or in the review is that it has a double pocket clip, okay? So you can carry this in the pocket with the head down, or you can flip it around, okay, and carry it in the pocket with the head up, which is really nice, okay? And what this feature allows you to do also is put this on the brim of a hat, okay? So if you're wearing a hat, you can use this as kind of a headlamp, a makeshift headlamp. So that's a super simple detail, but a detail a lot of people like. It's very cool. It's kind of like with knives. People tend to like the deep conceal clips over regular standard clips, whatever. Most people do like these pocket clips, you know, the double-sided basically over a traditional one, which these other two flashlights have, where you're just kind of stuck if you're putting this in the pocket with the heads down. But just a fine detail. Obviously the bonus is the size for the Streamlight. It's the smallest one, the lightest one, and it has two different battery sources, which is nice. Well, these technically have two different. You can use 18650s or two CR123s, but yeah, I mean, that's basically where this one's at, but it really lacks in the output department. 350 on max with the CR123. Yeah, you know, it's plenty for most people, but again, the gear guys, it's not really enough. They want the top guys, you know, the big dogs, the flashlights that are literally just blinding people. So if that's your thing, you're probably gonna lean more towards the Phoenix or the A Tactical. As far as price, the A Tactical is not only the brightest by 50 lumens compared to the Phoenix, but it is also the cheapest, okay, the most affordable of all three. But if you do want those extra, you know, features, the double UI in the Phoenix, which is really cool, that you have the outdoor or the tactical mode, interesting, right? And then the three different UIs in the Streamlight. So maybe some of the gearheads and gear guys will gravitate more towards that. I would say that the Streamlight is probably the most popular amongst the gear guys. I mean, the flashaholics, the people who really know their stuff about flashlights, they might tend to go with this one just because of all the different features. Those people probably already have extremely bright flashlights, so that's why they might not care about the lower output. It might be just a cool, interesting flashlight for them to add to their collection and use. Whereas the common people, if you just want a flashlight, you know, like, it goes back to the original need for a flashlight. The cheapest I can pay for one and the most light, right? Well, that's where the A Tactical probably wins, is it is the cheapest and the brightest, right? Which is nice. The Phoenix just kind of hangs around in the middle somewhere. Not quite the brightest, but very close. A little more expensive, but has some of the cool features the Streamlight has, but also has the light output. You know, so three different flashlights for three different people. The flashaholic, the common person, and then somewhere in between. So there's my my assessment of my EDC flashlights as of the last probably 2.5 months, something like that. I've been interchanging. I've been carrying the Streamlight, I think, the most. Then the A Tactical. I had the A Tactical the longest of all three of these, and the Phoenix is fairly new. But yeah, I mean, I think the Streamlight has the most carry time on it. But yeah, there's my my comparison. Hopefully this is somewhat helpful. I'll give you some new ideas on some flashlights you might be interested in. Of course, if you have any one of these flashlights, write down in the comments what you think of yours, what you use it for, why you picked that flashlight. That would be very helpful to people watching these videos, is explaining why you picked that flashlight over the hundreds of other flashlights on the market. But yeah, I mean, all three brands so far. A Streamlight, I've always, well, I shouldn't say always. Streamlight I actually had some problems with in the past as far as a company and just having issues with certain lights. Phoenix, never really had a problem offhand, although I know people who've had problems with certain flashlights. A-Tactical, brand new to the marketplace. But as you guys know, pretty much made by the same people as ThruNite. I've had good luck with ThruNites, not every single one. The TN12, I think, was the only model I ever really had a problem with. But they made that right, which is cool. And as you guys know, the A-Tactical battery issue I had, they made that right away. So customer service is very good. So I think you can trust in all three companies. So anyway, there's my opinions. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Take care.